Number 10. The Ghost Bride of Most Haunted House. The most haunted house in the world is said to be the Aokigahara Forest at the base of Japan's Mount Fuji. The forest is known locally as the Sea of Trees, and it earned that name due to the hundreds of people who have died there. Many of them took their own lives, and some were even murdered. There are also unconfirmed reports of people going missing in the woods and never being seen again. As if the forest itself wasn't scary enough, it's been made into a horror movie set twice. One of those movies was called Sadako, based on the Japanese version of The Ring. The whole forest is said to be cursed, and there are certain areas that are avoided by locals because they are just too dangerous. It's illegal to go into the forest after dark, which only adds to its reputation as a spooky forbidden zone. And yet people still enter the forest every year, hoping to see one of the ghosts for themselves. Some say the spirits haunting this place don't mean any harm and are perfectly friendly. Others say the spirits are malicious and will hunt anyone down who dares trespass. Number 9. The Ghostly Manor. The Whaley House in San Diego, California is widely considered to be the most haunted house in America. Built in 1857 by Thomas Whaley, the home was a grand affair with 20 rooms. This was back when San Diego was just a small town. And so when Thomas built this big home, everyone thought he was crazy. But his fortune turned around when gold was discovered on his property. Thomas lived out the remainder of his days in the house until he passed away in 1885. His wife and children stayed there until 1905, at which point the home was sold and eventually became a museum. Visitors often report seeing the ghosts of Thomas and his son, as well as hearing regular footsteps and other unexplained sounds throughout the home. No, 8. Ghosts galore. There are many haunted houses in New Orleans, but the Lalaurie Mansion is by far the scariest. Delphine Lalaurie hosted a party in 1834 when a fire broke out in her mansion. When firefighters arrived at the scene, they found 11 enslaved people who had been tortured and burned alive. She was arrested, but the charges against her were mysteriously dropped, and she lived out the rest of her days free as a bird. However, rumors persist that she may have killed as many as 100 enslaved people during her lifetime. To this day, she is known as one of the most evil women in American history. And many people believe her spirit is still haunting the mansion where she committed her atrocities. In fact, there are some days when the mansion is simply too haunted to open for business. There are some stories of visitors getting seriously injured or even going insane after entering the house. If you want to learn more about this haunted house, then watch the first episode of the second season of American Horror Story. Number 7. The Devil's Playhouse. Between 1910 and 1916, 5 people died within the walls of the Myrtles Plantation in St. Francisville, Louisiana. Each death was more mysterious than the last, and many people believe the deaths were the work of voodoo magic. Chloe Carrier, one of the former owners of the plantation, was accused of practicing black magic and killing several of her friends and neighbors. Whether or not she was actually responsible for these deaths doesn't matter anymore. Her spirit is now haunting the plantation and interacting with guests. One of the most famous ghost stories associated with the Myrtles Plantation involves a young girl named William. She drowned in the nearby river, and her spirit has been seen wandering the halls of the plantation ever since. There are other ghosts here as well, including the ghost of a man who haunts the stairwell and the ghost of a woman who appears in the windows. No. 6. Eastern State Penitentiary. Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia was once one of the most brutal prisons in America. Prisoners were kept in complete solitary confinement and given no human interaction. This caused many of them to go insane. Overcrowding and horrible living conditions also led to disease running rampant through the prison. When the prison finally closed down in 1995, it was the worst prison in America. Since then, it's become one of the most haunted places in the country. There are all kinds of terrifying things happening at this prison, from disembodied voices to full-on ghost apparitions. One of the most popular legends associated with this prison is that of a prisoner who was put in solitary confinement and went insane. His name was Al, and after 26 years in prison, he was finally released. But sadly, he died soon after. Many people believe his spirit is still trapped inside the prison walls. No. 5. The Ancient Inn. The Old Man Inn is an old pub located in Goodnestone Park, England. For centuries, it was just your average tavern where commoners could drink and relax. But in the 18th century, it was visited by King Henry VIII. He enjoyed the inn so much that he decided to buy the whole thing and turn it into a royal hunting lodge. The king hunted in the surrounding park and drank heavily at the inn. He loved it so much that he was buried under the floorboards when he died. Okay, not really, but his spirit is said to be haunting the inn to this very day. People claim to hear his footsteps and other strange noises in the dead of night. Number 4. The Ghost Train. Between 1929 and 1969, over 250 people lost their lives aboard the Ghost Train at Australia's Luna Park. The ride was discontinued in 1969, but it's said to be one of the most haunted places in Sydney. Many of the ride's victims didn't die right away, but lingered on for days, weeks, or even months. They became known as the Lost Souls of Ghost Train. There have been sightings of Ghost Train passengers, as well as workers from the park who have never left. Visitors have also heard disembodied screams in the middle of the night. What makes this place extra creepy is that there is supposedly a portal to another dimension in the tunnel network beneath the amusement park. That portal allows spirits to come and go freely. So it's possible the ghosts of these people will never find peace. Noah 3. Prison Ghosts. Waverly Hills Sanatorium was a hospital for people suffering from tuberculosis. It opened in 1910 and closed in 1961. During its time as a sanatorium, 63,000 people died, which means it has one of the highest death tolls of any building in history. In the 1970s, the building was converted into apartments. But after 3 people fell to their deaths and several others were injured, it was condemned and abandoned. It's now known as one of the most haunted buildings in the United States. Visitors to the site have reported seeing the ghosts of patients and doctors, as well as hearing screaming and other strange noises. One of the most famous ghosts associated with Waverly Hills Sanatorium is that of a little girl who died in the hospital at the age of 2. She is often seen wandering the halls or playing in the old elevator. Number 2. A Haunting Melody. Bangar Fort is an ancient citadel located in India. According to legend, a sorcerer cursed the entire fort, causing every single person living there to die. To this day, nobody is allowed inside the fort. The Indian government considers it to be a dangerous and haunted place. Visitors have reported hearing strange noises, seeing ghostly figures, and feeling sudden drops in temperature. One of the most famous legends associated with the Bangar Fort is that of the ghost of a princess who haunts the ruins. She's often seen dancing in the moonlight or playing on a swing set. She's always accompanied by the sound of drums and other instruments. Number 1. Hell House. The most haunted place on Earth is supposedly Hill House, located in Niagara, Ontario. The house was built in 1862 and was originally a mental asylum. It's since been used as a prison and a hospital, but it's now abandoned and decaying. Visitors have reported seeing all kinds of ghosts here, including the ghost of a little girl who haunts the 2nd floor. One of the most famous legends associated with Hill House is that of a prisoner who was hanged in the basement. His ghost is said to be haunting the basement and the nearby courtyard. Another legend says that a doctor performed cruel experiments on the patients, and his ghost is now haunting the operating room. The question is, do you believe in ghosts? Which of these locations would you like to visit? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out my other videos. And I'll see you next time. Bye.